Hey gang, it's JC and this is the Daily Dose for Monday, February 7th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Archives top of the page, eye candy along the bottom. Some great stuff to look at in the archives. We always have an eye candy for you every day, either a new picture or a viral video or just something that's sort of going around that you'll want to spend and share with your friends. All right, let's talk Super Bowl. Obviously, I'm just going to do it today. I'm going to be jumping around all over the place here. I got up this morning about 5, and I've already heard 75 times that Christina Aguilera screwed up the national anthem. All right, get over it, okay? I mean, some of the best singers in the history of the nation have screwed up the national anthem. I didn't like what she did. I don't like when she does that. That sort of hurts my throat just to even do it, but you bring Christina Aguilera out to sing the national anthem and you're surprised when something doesn't go right. All right, so it reminds me of that Maya Rudolph thing I did on Saturday night. I'm going to sneeze because, hold on. There we go. About 10% of that cold I've been carrying around for the last 8 weeks apparently just is not going to go away. But, here's the thing about the commercials, and everybody's talking about the commercials. So you got this league, the National Football League, and you play your 16-game schedule plus 4 preseason games. So you play 20 games. And then you have the playoffs, and then you have your crown jewel, the Super Bowl. And everybody watches it for the commercials. That tells me you got a screwed up league and a screwed up game, and there's something wrong with the way you're doing things. I don't want to hear about this being the national sport anymore. Okay, 100+ million people watched. But like a third of them, 40% of them weren't even watching it for the game. So something's wrong somewhere. You don't ever hear anybody saying, "You're going to watch the World Series?" Yeah, I'm just watching it for the commercials. What's that? All right, what else we got here? Leah Michele, who I like on Glee. There's something oddly compelling about that show, but I don't know what it is yet. The girls are all too young for me, so that can't be it. The music is really, really well done, but it's not really my kind of music. The show is ridiculously corny and over the top, and yet there's still something compelling about it, so I don't know what it is. But Leah Michele, what was that outfit she had on? She was dressed like she stopped off to sing on the way to her job at the bank. What else we got? Michael Douglas, that opening montage was very, very cool because just for a few moments you could forget about the arrests and the drugs and the HGH and the just ridiculous over-the-top opulence and Jerry Jones and his ridiculous stadium and the work stoppages and everything being so overblown in the National Football League, and you could just sort of, have a moment. It was a very, very nice montage. And getting Michael Douglas to do it was a stroke of brilliance right there. Luxury box. So you got George Bush and Condoleezza Rice and John Madden was going on there. Cameron Diaz feeding popcorn to A-Rod, John Travolta, Ron Howard, some of the other people who were there. By the way, did you see the camera guy get wiped out on the sidelines in the second half? I mean, that guy really, really got taken out. It reminded me of the 1966 movie The Fortune Cookie with Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, which was their first collaboration, by the way, but it was directed by Billy Wilder, and, they did The Odd Couple 2 years later, but that's exactly what happened. It was this unscrupulous lawyer, sort of an ambulance chaser, and Jack Lemmon was faking an injury after he got hit by a football player on the sidelines running a camera. All right, what else we got here? Roger Staubach, he was bringing the Super Bowl trophy out. He looked around like he was like, just don't hurt me. I'm old. I'm old and I'm fragile. He also seemed to be sort of bewildered, almost as if to say, Jesus, I don't remember the guys being this big when I played. And you're right, Roger, they weren't, because they're all drugged up these days. Oh, boy. And so you got America the Beautiful and the Star-Spangled Banner, and I've never really sort of understood why this country's national anthem isn't America the Beautiful. The Star-Spangled Banner is about blowing things up and bombs bursting in the air, and America the Beautiful is about the, amber waves of grain. I'm going to lose that argument. I always do. More commercials. GoDaddy. All right, here's the deal. I sort of dig Danica Patrick. I'm not a racing fan, but I sort of like her, and she's cute. But these GoDaddy things are really obnoxious because they're big teases. There's no payoff, and there's no point in going to the website thinking you're going to see Danica Patrick naked because it ain't going to happen. I thought the M&M spot for Buying American and sort of pushing the city of Detroit and the whole idea of the American car industry was very, very cool. Before the game, about 2:45 in the afternoon, Bill O'Reilly interviewed the President of the United States, or at least that's what it was supposed to be. I don't really know what was going on because O'Reilly talked more than the President. And kept saying, well, they hate you. What do you think about the fact that they hate you? I thought Obama should have just said, well, what do you think about the fact that America hates you too? You got like a couple of million people watching every night, but pretty much everybody else can't stand you. And by the way, how come when all of these Fox reporters and commentators were in the White House for 8 years when Bush was president, nobody ever asked him that question? Oh, by the way, speaking of spots, we know that the commercials during the Super Bowl went for about $3 million a year, or $3 million goes up every year. The local commercials, because there's like 2 minutes every hour where the local Fox affiliates get to stick in their own local commercials. I'm told that those were going for about 8 to 10 times the normal Sunday night primetime rate. So, just for the sake of discussion, let's say if a commercial on Fox 2, a 30-second spot was $5,000, well, last night it would have been $50,000. And that makes sense, too, because the ratings are in. And in St. Louis, 46.5 share rating and a 70 share. Now, 70 share means that 70% of all televisions that were in use during those hours were tuned into the Super Bowl. That's 70%. That's huge. That's humongous. In Milwaukee, obviously, because you had Green Bay playing, 59.7 rating and an 85 share. Who were the 15% up there in Wisconsin who were not watching their Packers play in the Super Bowl? I was at a Super Bowl party last night, and Chris Duncan and his girlfriend were there, and I was talking to Chris about his neck and everything like that. Now, if you lost track of him after he left the Cardinals, he's still very tall. And, his neck, it says his neck's actually doing pretty good, because he had that same surgery I had where they take a piece of your neck out and then they fuse something in there. And he said that's doing fine, but he blew out his hip last year when he was with the Washington Nationals. So he just started hitting and sort of moving around again, and he's hoping to get some sort of a minor league contract. With Jimmy Edmonds coming back, who knows? Anything's possible, especially when your dad is the pitching coach. And what else we got here? I'm done talking about the Super Bowl for the most part because there's just, that's all you get this morning. You turn on the TV and all it is a bunch of ad men with way too much hair gel, just dissecting and analyzing and taking the stuff apart. It's like, oh, God, let's move on, folks. Let's move on. Ben Roethlisberger, congratulations for getting the MVP last night, the most valuable pervert. And, of course, you had tons of confetti dropped onto the field after the Packers won. Most of it was from shredded restraining orders against Ben Roethlisberger. Oh, God. Oh, by the way, Jerry Jones, he's got this big stadium, and he was just hell-bent on the idea that this Super Bowl attendance thing at his new stadium was going to break the all-time attendance record for an NFL playoff game. So he's got all these things in. Well, it turns out like about 400 people who had bought seats and had a ticket in their hand, they didn't have any room for them because they were adding seats to try to do that. Where's the fire marshal in the state of Texas? God, what is this? Oh, those commercials that they've been running all season on the football games about these old guys who say, I have never missed a Super Bowl. And they're all holding their ticket stubs. A whole bunch of them had never missed a Super Bowl in their entire lives. One of the guys in this commercial missed one. He's in the hospital. And two former Super Bowl MVPs had to be separated by cops at an autograph signing over the weekend. Phil Simms was upset that Desmond Howard insulted his son, who's a college quarterback, on ESPN. All right, that's it. I've had enough football. Let's move on to the other stuff. The old reliable is back. Lindsay Lohan. By the time you see this today, she may already have been charged with felony theft for stealing a $2,500 necklace from a little jewelry store in Venice, California. Charlie Sheen, for those of you who say, no, I think these hookers and porn stars are making this stuff up. I think Charlie is just having a good time and he's fine. Well, there's pictures on TMZ this morning of his teeth, and his teeth are falling out. It looks like he kissed a moving train. And he may have, for all I know. But his teeth are, you got to see this picture. I almost ran it, but I was like, ew, I don't want that on my website. So go look at it yourself, but that's one of the things that happens when you do a lot of those kinds of drugs. Ugh. And one last note here. How cool was it that Dana Carvey was hosting Saturday Night Live over the weekend? And I told Triple C, I said, I get the funniest feeling that Mike Myers is going to show up. And we turned the damn thing on, and there he is, and there they are doing Wayne's World. And it was just one of those really, really cool things. All right, got to tell you about my story about the Gap. I'll do that tomorrow. How's that? And just a reminder that we are going to Cardinal Spring Training, and it's coming up soon. Call Alt-Air Travel at 968-9600. That's 968-9600. Or go to altairtravelinc.com. Grom Milhaven and John Hadley and me. We're all going. We're going to be broadcasting live down there at Cardinal Spring Training. You get tickets to the game. You get a day at the beach. You get special meals that we're having, a little barbecue before one of the games, a little reception, all that sort of stuff. So all of that stuff is transportation all over the place. You don't even have to get a car if you don't want to. So again, Altair Travel, 968-9600. I just talked to Sherry over there this morning, and she's a great, great help. Here's pictures of the place. That's where we're going to be staying. You could go too. See? There you go. All right. I'm out of time. That's enough. It's Monday. You've listened to enough. Thank you very much. Again, check out our cool features at the top of the Wayback Machine and, that sort of stuff. And also, again, eye candy along the bottom. Our eye candy photo today is a flashback. I'm over here. A flashback to the 2004 wardrobe malfunction. That's it. JC's Daily Dose for Monday, February 7th, 2011. A combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.